I was watching the live leaderboard refresh over and over because what I was seeing made no sense. Just weeks ago, Tyler Reddick looked unstoppable. Nobody was even close. And now the driver taking his championship lead isn't some outside rival, it's the co-owner of his own race team. The strangest part is that it all came down to one race, one mechanical failure, and one number that nobody at 23XI Racing wants to talk about right now. Did Sonoma simply expose bad luck, or did we just watch the exact moment this entire championship flipped? Because once you look at what happened before Sonoma, the momentum swing, the standings, the owner versus driver storyline now playing out in public, this is bigger than one broken steering rack. Before we go further, if you're new here, this channel is NASCAR Racing World, and we're closing in on 500 subscribers. If this breakdown helps you understand what's really happening in the championship fight, hitting subscribe and tapping like genuinely helps this channel grow. Every bit of your support matters in bringing more breakdowns like this one. At the start of the season, Reddick looked unbeatable. He won the season-opening Daytona 500, then kept winning. By the time the series reached Watkins Glen International in May, Reddick had built a lead of as many as 129 points over the rest of the field. He had won 5 of the first 9 races of the season. Broadcasters were already discussing him as the regular season favorite, since the points lead carries real weight. The driver who finishes atop the standings after the regular season earns 15 playoff points heading into the chase. Every week followed the same pattern. Reddick ran up front, nobody closed the gap. The championship conversation for months wasn't about who could catch him, it was about how big his cushion would get. Then the picture started to change. While most of the attention stayed on Reddick, Denny Hamlin was quietly building a stretch of his own. Hamlin won at Michigan International Speedway, a race where Reddick crashed out entirely, and he added wins at Pocono and Nashville as well, putting together 3 wins in 4 races. Each result chipped away at the gap. A lead that once measured in 3 figures had shrunk dramatically. By the time the series reached Sonoma, Reddick's once massive 129-point cushion had collapsed to just 8 points. The story was no longer can Hamlin catch him. It had become when, 2 races before Sonoma at Coronado, Reddick lost ground after a blown tire while running second, trimming the margin further. Heading into Sonoma, the standings read Reddick with an 8-point lead over Hamlin, the tightest the points race had been all year. Sonoma Raceway is a 1.99-mile road course where passing is difficult and small mistakes cost positions instantly. Reddick qualified 11th. Early in the race, his radio chatter turned tense. Something doesn't feel quite right. It isn't responsive with the steering. It feels like power steering. It's like something's off all of a sudden, Reddick told his team. Moments later, he escalated. It's getting really bad, Billy, I don't know. He held the car together until the end of stage 1 where he pitted in 30th place. His number 45 Toyota crew opened the hood trying to diagnose a power steering failure. The repair didn't hold. Reddick had to return to pit road a second time, losing additional laps. By stage 2, he was 6 laps down to the leaders with almost no realistic path back on a track where overtaking is notoriously hard. He ultimately finished the race 36th, dead last, 4 laps down. Crew chief Billy Scott explained afterward, "It's disappointing. We don't really know what the issue was. It sounds like we were able to help it some, but not fully. I think we missed an opportunity to have a solid top 10 day, had decent speed and got the fastest lap and did what we could. Certainly disappointed to not get many points on the day." Reddick echoed that uncertainty in his own comments to TNT Sports. "We were trying to diagnose it. Very odd issue. Everything seemed fine when we left the pit stall that first green flag cycle. I didn't know if we had a wheel issue or what it was at first. Really hard to make any kind of lap time with it." This was not driver error. It was not a strategy gamble. NASCAR's race report and Reddick's own team confirmed it was a mechanical failure, a power steering breakdown that nobody saw coming. While Reddick fought to save laps, Shane Van Gisbergen controlled the race up front, leading 74 of 110 laps to claim his second win of the season, his second career win at Sonoma, and his 8th Cup Series victory, all on road courses. Journalist Jeff Gluck wrote, "Chase Briscoe made a great run at it, but SVG does it again. He sweeps Sonoma and moves within 1 victory of Jeff Gordon for first on the all-time NASCAR road course wins list. Despite that dominant performance, almost nobody outside the Trackhouse camp was talking about the win itself. Every broadcast graphic, every garage conversation had shifted to the championship math. Hamlin's own day at Sonoma was far from clean. He ran inside the top 10 for the first 63 laps, then got turned during a late restart and finished 26th. Even with that result, the math worked in his favor. The combination of Reddick's last-place finish and Hamlin's 26th was enough to flip the standings. For the first time in 18 races this season, the championship lead changed hands. Hamlin moved ahead by a single point. This is where the story turns into something more complicated than a steering failure. Hamlin is a co-owner of 23XI Racing, the very team that fields Reddick's number 45 car. After Sonoma, a reporter asked Hamlin directly whether he now effectively controls the outcome of the title fight against his own employee. Hamlin's answer was blunt, "I don't control anything. As we see, things can happen. There is no verified evidence of favoritism, no confirmed instruction from ownership affecting strategy, and no proof that Reddick's mechanical issue was anything other than an unrelated equipment failure. Reddick himself credited Hamlin's misfortune for limiting the damage, saying, "I say we got pretty fortunate today. He was running really good. All things considered, we're very fortunate to only lose 9 points on the day to Denny finishing dead last." Still, the dynamic itself is unusual. A team owner is now leading the point standings ahead of his own driver, heading into the final stretch of the regular season. That alone has made every upcoming pit call, every radio exchange, and every race result between these two cars subject to extra scrutiny, not because the facts have changed, but because perception now has a reason to look closer. Reactions spread quickly across social media as the race unfolded. Fan account Rubbin is Racing wrote simply, "Bad day for Tyler Reddick," alongside footage of the number 45 car parked on pit road with its hood up, a post that captured how abruptly the afternoon turned. Crew chief commentary added more context after the checkered flag. Stephen Doran, Van Gisbergen's crew chief, said of his driver's mindset entering the weekend, "He was grumpy all weekend." Van Gisbergen himself, reflecting on his Coronado wreck the week before, said, "I was pretty pissed for a couple of days and then switched my attention to this race. We did pretty well all weekend, and to get both races certainly makes up for it a little bit." He also admitted the car wasn't ideal, saying ahead of the race, "My car was pretty subpar, to put it nicely." These reactions reflect a wider shift in how the season is being discussed. Crew chief Billy Scott, looking ahead past Sonoma, framed the loss in terms of preparation for what comes next. "The reality is there is a reset coming in 8 weeks or whatever it is, so this is good practice for that. We're going to keep focusing on what we can do, and we think that's going out to win more races before we get to the chase." That comment alone tells you how seriously the team is treating one bad afternoon, not as a disaster to dwell on, but as a preview of pressure still to come. There's a meaningful difference between leading a championship and chasing one. For most of the season, Reddick raced with a cushion. Now, for the first time, he trails by 1 point, while Hamlin races from the front for the first time in the standings this year. Hamlin enters the next 8 regular season races with the lead. Reddick enters them needing to respond. Both drivers have been among the strongest performers this season at 1.5-mile intermediate tracks, the type of track coming up next at Chicagoland Speedway on July 5. Each has exactly 1 win at that style of track, Hamlin at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Reddick at Kansas Speedway, which sets up a direct rematch on a layout where both have already proven capable of winning. Mechanical failures happen across every NASCAR season. What makes Sonoma different is timing. It arrived at the exact moment that the points gap had already tightened from 129 points down to single digits, and it produced the first championship lead change of the entire year after 18 consecutive races without one. Reddick still holds 5 wins this season, tied for the most of any driver. Hamlin sits at 4 wins. With 8 races remaining before the chase field locks in, both drivers remain firmly in playoff position, and the battle for the regular season title, and the bonus playoff points that come with it, is now a single-point margin between a driver and the man who owns part of his own race team. If you've made it this far, you clearly care about how this championship fight is unfolding, so drop a comment with your prediction for Chicagoland, and share this with another NASCAR fan who's been following the points race all season. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next.